On this 15-minute tool review, we're going to go over the BESTARC ARC200. This is a Gen 9 machine, and it does stick, but it also does TIG. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back to Imagine. It's cold in here, 22 degrees. It did warm up. Anyway, guys, this is the BESTARC ARC200. It is the 9th gen. This is a stick welder and a TIG, and I think I'm going to do something a little different today. I don't ever see anybody do a review on this and do the TIG. So I'm going to run the full function with it. I'm going to stick weld with it, and I'm going to TIG weld with it, and I'm going to tell you what I think. So this is a multi-volt unit. It's a 110, 220. Let's just open it up. I know we don't do unboxings, but we're going to do an unboxing. And let's see what's in it, what it comes with, and I'm going to tell you what you need if you would like to TIG weld. So let's do that. Obviously, I already cut it open for, you know, so I don't have to do movie magic and editing. Right off the bat, accessory box. Accessory box comes with, this is 120 to 240 volt adapter, or 110, 220, 221, whatever it takes. You guys know the drill. That'll come in handy later. It comes with your work clamp, which could be negative or positive, depending on what you're doing. And then it comes with a stinger. Now, obviously, the stinger, oh yeah. I always find that these things are lacking in spring tension. This one's actually pretty good. It's a 1025 DIN lug on the end. That comes in handy to know when you're looking for a proper TIG torch to attach to this. And it comes with a strap because this unit is very small and you could carry it around. And it comes with instructions. There is nothing else in here. That's it. Extinguished. Get rid of it. BESTARC always packages their stuff well. There's tons of foam in here. All kinds of foam. Foam. We have done many BESTARC plasma cutters and MIG welders on the channel. And I love the packaging, and usually I love, they build tech in, and it's not just that. They have very pleasing to the eye units, like the way the displays are set up, the way that the controls are laid out. Now, granted, this is just a stick welder. It does TIG as well, but you know, it's not going to have tons of fancy. Oh, it does. I lied. It has tons of fancy options. Guys, this cord is, let's see here. I'm about 6 feet tall, so the cord's 6 feet. It's a 6-foot cord. We're not measuring it because we don't got to be that precise. It is set up with 220 out of the box. Now, like I say with every single review we do, if you're going to buy a machine that is multi-volt, you have to fully understand the capacity differences between the two voltages. If you run it on 120 or 110, you're going to have a decreased capacity because of supply voltage, not the machine's fault. So you guys fully understand that before you buy machines. I've heard a lot of people complain about all kinds of machines, not this particular machine, but all machines, and they're like, oh, I bought it in 110, the thing kind of dogs. It's like, well, you're trying to, you know, weld half-inch plate with it at one time. I mean, what are you thinking? I am going to rip this off. I know that upsets you guys, but I want you to be able to see the display. BESTARC supplied me this machine. I didn't pay for it. I just want you to know that, but I'm under no obligation to like it or tell you I like it. What we're going to do first is we're going to set this thing up to stick weld. Anybody that knows me and watches the channel knows that Dave is not a stick welder. So if I can do a halfway decent weld with a stick welder, you probably can too. Then we're going to switch over to the TIG, and I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet for you guys because it's a small machine and it does a couple functions. And we're going to check it out together. Let's go. I'm going to read you guys straight out of the manual the 110, 220 differences because I feel that's important for anyone who wants to buy this machine. So at 110 volts, a duty cycle of 60% with 140 amps. What does that mean to you? 6 minutes, and then you let the machine rest for 4 out of 10. That's kind of how the duty cycle, that's just the easiest way to think of duty cycle. So if you rip this thing 10 minutes straight, you're probably gonna overheat it and it's gonna shut off. At 220 volts, which that's what we have it hooked up to, 200 amps, 60% duty cycle. I'm never gonna run this thing 200 amps, but I guess if you had to, you certainly could. It tells you that the output range is anywhere from 20 to 140, and it will voltage limit you and current limit you if it's because it's auto sensing. So if you hook it up to 110, you're not going to be able to turn it up past 140 because there is technology in the machine that's not going to allow you to hurt itself or hurt your circuit. So everything on this machine as far as electrode diameter, and this has synergic technology, so it's going to help you. So if you're like, I know I have, this size electrode that I want to weld with, it's going to say you should be about here. So it's a pretty simple machine as far as this goes. It has a VRD technology in it, so so you don't whack yourself. It's got hot start help. So you turn the hot start on, and what that does is, say you have it set for whatever, I don't know, arbitrarily 80 amps. As soon as you go to strike an arc, it's going to give you more than 80 amps because it's going to, or volts, more than the voltage needed, same amps, voltage, whatever. It's going to give you more than the set amperage just to get you started, and then it's going to back it down so you get that better start arc every time. So that's built into the machine. The on-off switch is on the back. This is plugged in, so let's just turn it on. You're seeing it for the first time. I'm seeing it for the first time. Fan came on. So I'm going to take you guys off the stand so we can kind of go through the display, and then we're just going to start welding with it because 15 minutes is a short amount of time to get through this machine. All right, guys, when you initially fire this thing up, the fan's going to run, and it runs for a specified amount of time, and now it's off so we can have a discussion about it. The display on this thing is super crisp. I'm not even really sure it comes through that well on the GoPro, but it is very, very crisp. The colors are very vibrant. It's very easy to see. Let's just run through options really quick. Initially, your mode option. You got two modes. You got stick or you got lift TIG. It's also going to tell you a couple things, right? It's going to tell you you're in 220 volt. It's going to tell you the VRD's on, which means you're not going to shock and kill yourself, even though you always take precautions. And then there's another one right here that tells you when the fan is on. So the fan is off, so that light is off currently. When you move up to the top button, this is your electrode size, and it's gonna, this is a synergic technology machine. So if you see right here, it says SYN, that's gonna give you some help. So if you're using the 1.6 electrode, it's gonna tell you, you should be about 60 amps. If you're going 2.0, it should be about 90. Now, you're not stuck there because you can adjust up and down with this knob here. So it's just giving you initial help if you're like, I don't have any idea what size electrode to use because I'm new at this. It's going to help you along. Now, when you're at the 220 volt, you can ramp this thing all the way up and give it all the beans. You don't need to do that. Here it's going to give you your arc force and your hot start, so you can compensate on your hot start if you want a little bit more snot out of it when she initiates an arc. And then all you got here is your positive and negative. Make sure that you have an understanding, if you're going to stick weld, what process you are using, because certain rods want to be run with positive being the torch end of it or the stinger end of it, and some of them want to be negative. That is up to you to determine that. I'm not an expert on that at all, but that is important, and it will certainly affect the quality of your welding. TIG, you're only going to set it up one way, and we're going to talk about that when we get to the TIG. So that's the machine in a nutshell. It does have the thermal fan, so it does quiet itself down, which is nice, especially, if you're working in an environment where you're like, man, I don't want this fan to run all the time. Well, it doesn't have to. All right, as I told you, not a stick welder. I am going to use some 7018. This is what I got. I just made a couple tacks with some 6011, but I think the 7018 just better quality weld. So let's try to get one of those running on it. We'll blast a pass and I'll just kind of show you how it is. Now, I didn't touch the machine. It was set on 120. I'm sure a lot of guys that do stick welding would probably tell me I should do something differently. I did it with the brush. if you're a novice stick welder like I am, I don't ever stick weld. I do a lot of MIG and a lot of TIG, but I don't stick weld hardly ever. But I mean, that's pretty good for not being good at it. That's not bad. The point I'm trying to make is, if I'm not super good at this, and I can do that with this machine, couldn't you do that with this machine? Let's hook up the TIG and I'll explain that to you, because I don't think any guys run the TIG on this machine, and we're gonna run the TIG. Let's talk TIG setup. This is a simple setup because all it uses is the lug to transfer the current and the gas, which has a little knob on the torch. So what you're gonna do is, the first thing you need to do is you need to put this thing in TIG mode, and then you can adjust from there. You're going to hook your positive to your ground clamp, and then your TIG is going to go in the negative. Now this is the type of TIG torch you need. I'll put a link in the description to just something, whether it's something, you know, not that I quote recommend. They all kind of are the same. So what you need is the hose end to go to a regulator, and then you need the 1025 DIN type of connector. You can use any TIG setup like this, but you may have to change just this part. You can take these apart and take the wire out and then put it in a larger DIN, or a smaller lug or a larger lug. I have like a pile of these just from testing. And then the way that this thing works, you get your tungsten nice and sharp, and then you're going to turn your gas on and off here. So you're going to set your flow up prior to doing anything, and then I'll show you that function. This is not ideal. You want your tanks to be secure, but this, I haven't dealt with this hose. I need an extension. Don't do this. Make sure your tanks are fixed. You blow the top off one of these, you're gonna know it, and so is probably your neighbor. In TIG welding, it's kind of like soldering. You're gonna heat a puddle, and then you're gonna add filler to it. Seems pretty simple. It's not. I mean, if you've done it and you're learning it, it's frustrating sometimes. And every time you touch your tungsten, you want to clean it. Every single time. Don't keep going. And all of the material you are welding has to be clean. Has to be clean. Don't use chlorinated brake clean. That makes phosgene gas, and you're going to get super sick if you do that. Process is, so we got our clamp. That's our positive. We're going to try to ground through the table and not electrocute myself. And I'm just going to hold it. And then it's a lift start, so you got to touch and pull away. It's going to initiate arc. You need to turn your gas on first. Turn your gas on first. Everybody forgets that when they're doing this kind of thing. Let me tack it up and we'll go. I'm going to try to keep this so you can see it. My hands might get in the way, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the knob on right here so we have gas flowing. And we're going to, you can hear the gas blowing out a bunch of air. This line has air in it. Let's let it clear out. And then we're going to lift and pull away. And that's it. Now we don't care how straight it is, but we are going to tack both sides. So I've still got gas going. I'm going to lift and pull away. Now, turn the gas off when you're not using it. Gas is not cheap. So you want to set yourself up so you can move your entire workpiece. It's not super important. I'm actually going to turn this down because 135 is a little too hot for that. Let's go like 120. We're going to go back to this TIG. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our gas back on. And then we're going to get in position. I'm going to stop because I want a little bit more heat. You know, maybe that was about right. Let's go up to 135. But that's a pretty good bead right there. So we're going to do the exact same thing we did. We're going to get in there, we're going to pull off. And that's going to initiate our arc. We still got gas running. And you're gonna pull off quick. And that's TIG welding with this. And you're gonna shut your gas back off. Because gas is not cheap. You buy an inexpensive stick machine like this that has TIG capability, and has actually a TIG function on it. That is not bad for what you're doing. Now obviously I have a stop start in the middle, right? And I added a little bit more heat. But guys, look at that. You can do that with this machine. You watch me do it. There's no magic. So I'm not a professional welder. I'm a hobby welder. I used to be a very good TIG welder at one point in my life, but that was many moons ago on Tatooine. Nope. Okay. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. You're obviously questioning how much money it is. This thing's only 160 bucks on Amazon, and I'm going to have a link. And if you're curious about it, like today, there's a $60 off coupon, so it's only $100. So for stick function and then for TIG function, 100 bucks. I mean, you gotta buy yourself a bottle, a regulator, and a TIG torch. You'd have to do that with any of these machines. So off the rip, you get, you know, the VRD capable machine, which keeps you safe, you're not gonna get hurt. It's got hot start adjustment, which I did use off camera a little bit. I kind of played with it, and it really does help. It gives you that nice punch. There's a lot of adjustment in it for what it is. It's synergic technology, so if you're not really comfortable with the size rod you're using and where you need to be for amps, because I'm not, the machine helps you. BESTARC always has really crisp displays. I really like the packaging. The unit is very light. 6-foot cord. Stinger's got a good spring in it. You know, the ground clamp's a ground clamp. Overall, is this thing worth $160? Yes, it is. They don't pay me to say that. They just send me their machine. They don't pay me to make the videos. So I can tell you honestly, it was fun to use, and I would definitely use it again, and I definitely need to work on my stick welding, but I mean, you know, that's where we're at. It's not terrible, right? And then the TIG, probably still warm, a little bit warm. The TIG really surprised me with how stable the arc was and how it just did its job. So I will put a link to a TIG torch for you guys that works with this machine in the description. That way, in case you want to TIG weld with it, I'll throw a regulator and a TIG torch that is comparable. Like and subscribe. I hope you guys like the review videos. We got more cars coming up very shortly. I got a big project planned as a main channel video. Just like every other video, guys, you watch me do it. And if I can do it, you can certainly do that with an ARC200. Thanks for watching.